Well, friends, Lent has just begun, and oh, how Lenty this year has been. We've recently lost 3 of our own dearest longtime members. Others among us are sick or sitting with someone who is. And the world outside these walls feels kind of like a dumpster fire. So we come here tonight, obviously, to get ash rubbed in our forehead, because what else would you do, right? Okay, it's a little strange we do these things, but here we are. Here we are. Our Lenten devotional this year, pick one up if you haven't already on the way out, draws from the writing of Madeleine L'Engle. Many of you know her as the author of A Wrinkle in Time, the movie version of which stars the one and only Oprah Winfrey with an amazing performance, by the way. Just kidding. It's okay. Oprah did okay for in her acting role. But no, it's actually a really good movie. But L'Engle also wrote beautifully and seriously about the spiritual life too. She has several books on the spiritual life and like the creative life, and they're beautiful. And this devotional is based on one of those. But this week's reflection begins with a scene that she witnessed. An 18-month-old lying on her stomach in the grass, watching a colony of ants. Completely still, completely absorbed. And then L'Engle describes playing Ring Around the Rosie with the girl. Grandparents, parents, teenagers, all of them skipping in a circle and falling down laughing. The child's self-forgetfulness was contagious. L'Engle says, and this is beautiful, we were outside self and outside time. That's the image she keeps returning to. The child at play, the artist at work, the person so concentrated on something outside themselves that the self-watching simply stops. L'Engle apparently was also a pianist, not a very good one, she admits, but she describes sitting at the keyboard working through a piece of Bach, fumbling through it, and finding that it doesn't matter. She describes how when she plays, as bad as it may be, as she says it is, the music is all there is. I am outside time, outside self, in play, in joy. And she calls this humility, which seems like a Lenten theme, right? Humility. And this word choice surprised her when she first thought it, because I think we think of humility like a kind of shrinking, right? Like a speaking carefully, holding back, making yourself small. But L'Engle says it's actually the opposite. She uses the Greek word hubris, pride, self-centeredness, right? And she means it precisely. Hubris is the self installed at the center, watching itself perform, judging itself, which, as you can imagine, is even a bigger problem in our day when so many of us have turned the cameras on ourselves, judging ourselves. Jesus diagnosed this human malady a couple thousand years ago. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. It's an odd instruction. It's one of those Yoda-like Jesus riddles. It seems like what Jesus calls the left hand is exactly what L'Engle names. The part of us that judges, the inner accuser, the critic, the one who measures how you're doing. And he's saying In the practice of prayer, of fasting, of giving, and I would say of life itself, let it go. Not so that you disappear, but so that you actually show up. Has anyone here not used Zoom? FaceTime? Okay. I'm not sure if FaceTime has this feature. But Zoom, there's a feature on Zoom that not many people know about, where you can turn off your self-view. Has anybody done this daring act in a call? Yeah? Right. You stop seeing yourself in the corner of the screen. And if you've ever done it, you know, well, firstly, it's terrifying, right? But after the initial fear, you suddenly realize you're just in the conversation. You're looking at the other person or the other people. You're actually there. There's actually a way of thinking about God as a kind of infinite music, and you and I as participants in it, not performers of it. We don't generate the music, we receive it. We're in it before we do anything. When L'Engle is at the piano fumbling through Bach or whatever, she keeps playing because the music is more real than her performance of it. Some of you have had this experience. That's not just a psychological observation, it's a metaphysical one. The music doesn't care about her skill. She's just in it. The only question is whether she'll let herself play, or will her inner accuser, her inner left hand, silence her? I want to say something gently here because I know some of you are living closely with loss right now, or even watching someone you love move toward death. One of the cruelest things the self-watching voice does in those moments is fill the space with regret and self-judgment. What I should have done, what I didn't say, what they deserved that I couldn't give. And for those facing their own mortality, sometimes it's a kind of audit. Everything seems left undone, unfinished. That voice is the left hand. And the gospel says you don't need its permission. The right hand is free to just be right now, to love, to receive help, to laugh, to lend a hand without the crippling effects of self-interest. The grace is already there. Lent is just learning to believe it in the depths of our own deepest valleys. This is what the cross is. Jesus taking the whole weight of the judging, the performing, the hubris, all of it into death, so that what rises is just the music. The right hand, finally free. You are, right now, a note in the music that God is playing. Dust? Yes. Finite? Yes. Grieving? Maybe. Terrified? Perhaps. And held completely in something and someone that never runs out. The ashes behind me are real ashes. We don't pretend otherwise. And they get smeared on your forehead. Not that big. I won't go like that. But smeared on your forehead in the shape of a cross. The same sign that was made over you at your baptism. You are dust. And you are claimed. You are a dirt creature filled with the animating breath of God. From the eternal melody you came, and to the eternal melody you will return. We walk out into the world as people who have stopped watching ourselves long enough to see everything and everyone else. Return to me with all your heart. That's the poetry of Joel, the prophet. Come home. No need to perform the return. Just come. Play. Dance. The music is already playing. And so it is. Amen.